Hi, I'm Mindy Burgoyne, and this is a Haunted Minute, and I'm standing here today in Easton in front of the Tidewater Inn. If you've ever been to Easton, I'm sure you've seen this property. It's a huge Georgian hotel that stands at the crossroad of Dover and Harrison Streets, diagonally across from the Avalon Theater. But on this spot, years and years ago, stood a big white wooden Victorian hotel known as the Hotel Avon, or later the Hotel Norris. And it was the anchor of the town. So down in the port, which is a few miles down that way, the steamboats would come in and a stagecoach would be waiting to bring people up here to the center of town to stay in the Hotel Norris or Avon. But in 1944, that hotel burned down and they lost the anchor that was such an economic engine in this historic town. And a big empty space sat right here at the crossroads. Until 1947, when Arthur Grimes decided to put his own fortune into building a hotel here. And he built this brick Georgian hotel, brick so it wouldn't burn down, but he also put in all the modern conveniences, everything that anybody would want. He even hired a professional decorator to come in to make this a real trend-setting hotel. But eventually, Mr. Grimes did pass away, but people here think he's still here running the hotel, or at least trying to have an influence. So what are some of the stories? There's a kind of a night security guy named Walter. He's been here many years, and he's here through the night. He says he has sat in the lobby in the middle of the night, 2 and 3 in the morning, and he'll feel this little tug if he dozes off on his pant leg. He wakes up and there's no one there. And he thinks that's Mr. Grimes, rather disappointed that he might be sleeping on the job. Walter also told us that he was in the kitchen once and he saw a face in a portal window looking in from the other room into the kitchen. And there shouldn't have been anybody in that other room, so he went to look and see who it was, and there was no one there. What he also noticed was that the portal window was 7 feet off the ground. So if anybody was there, they'd have to have been a very tall person. Now up on the 4th floor where you see that Palladium window, that was Mr. Grimes' office. And the marketing team up there say they've seen Mr. Grimes. A former GM said she actually saw him walking down the hall. There are doors slamming, laundry chutes opening, all kinds of strange things the housekeeping staff have said they've attributed to Mr. Grimes. Well, probably my favorite thing was I talked to a new hotel clerk once and I said, "Hey, have you heard of Mr. Grimes?" And he said, "He's here." In fact, the food and beverage manager heard somebody call his name across the gold room. And he figured, it's got to be Mr. Grimes because there was nobody there. One good thing about this haunted property is that if you are in Easton, you can stop into the Tidewater Inn and actually feel what it's like to be in a haunted property because it's open to the public and it has a beautiful lobby, a wonderful restaurant, a terrific bar. Stop in sometime. It's one of the most haunted properties in Easton.